So getting women to respond to you on Tinder can be super frustrating. And it's very difficult and time-consuming to constantly be trying to come up with new, funny, witty openers that are going to inspire her to respond. Today, I'm going to share with you a bunch of canned openers you can start using right now that's going to give you a much-needed improvement to your response rate. Now, before I go ahead and share these canned openers with you, there's two things I want to make clear. Number one is that as easy and satisfying as it is to just copy and paste canned messages to women to start conversations, absolutely nothing will work as well as nicely crafted, teasing, playful openers that are specifically made based on what you see in her profile. They're personalized. If you'd like to see me doing that freestyle, where I'm going to look at a whole bunch of women's profiles and just give you teasers that I'm thinking of on the spot, go ahead and click the link that I'll link up there or down in the comments below to see that video. The second thing that I want to make clear is that the tease that you write, what you first write to a woman, has to be congruent with your profile. So if you have a profile that's really kind of nice and sweet looking, and all of a sudden your first message is really forward and really assertive or aggressive or sexually forward, there's going to be a conflict, and that conflict is going to cause a mismatch for you. So there's got to be, when you're deciding which of these canned openers to use, pick ones that seem like they're a match for who you are, who your personality is, or you're going to struggle to make it work for you. Okay, so let's get stuck in. I'm going to start sharing with you a couple of really easy to use canned openers that work with almost every profile. The first one I'm going to show you is really, really low key, okay, but I use it a lot to great effect. It is this. Hey, name, did you get up to any mischief over the weekend worth bragging about? And if you've got a weekend coming up, you can just change it so that it says, hey, name, do you have any mischief planned for the weekend coming up that's worth bragging about? So you can just change that and reword that as necessary. Number two. Uh-oh, you look like a troublemaker, and I should know. It takes one to know one. Wink. Again, lots of women respond to this. It's a fun little playful jab that most women enjoy. Now, the third canned pickup line is a little bit more complicated because there are lots of variations, but essentially it's a question and answer game. So, for example, I might say, okay, I have a really important question. Would you rather never eat chocolate again or never eat pizza again? There is only one right answer. Wink. So women are generally going to respond to this and tell you an answer, and then I'll tend to tease her based on her response, whether she says pizza or whether she says chocolate. I'm going to give her a little bit of shit about it and just have fun with the answer. But there are other questions that you can ask. So you can just say, hey, truth or dare? Okay, and truth could be asking her a funny question about herself. Dare could be daring her to give you her phone number, or, this kind of thing. But truth or dare can be great fun because then she'll ask you truth or dare back, you ask you truth or dare back. But literally the first line, truth or dare, gets a surprisingly high response rate. If you'd like to see questions and answers in action, one of my coaches, Denny, uses it a lot in his game. So I'll link you to a video up here where you can watch him literally go through a whole series of questions with women, flirting and escalating and teasing in the process and getting numbers really effectively. Now, at this point, you'll probably notice that these openers, they're not like mind-blowing. They're not like, holy crap, this is the best thing I've ever seen. But in truth, they work well. And the point is that if you have a really extreme opener, and I've seen some pretty extreme ones out there, you tend to narrow the number of women who are likely to respond. Now, if I can see your profile and I can see the types of women you're matching with, and I can see what you've written in your profile, the kind of guy you are, maybe you can get away with those extreme openers, and that's great for you. But I need to make sure that I'm giving you options that'll work for pretty much every guy on pretty much every kind of woman. And almost every woman's going to respond pretty well to these openers. Now, you may have noticed on Tinder that there tend to be a lot of similar types of profiles, similar types of photos you see. And what I want to give you now is some canned openers you can use on those stereotype profiles that you commonly see on Tinder. So the first example would be a woman with a picture with a dog or a cat or a little animal with her, right? In which case, I tend to find that teasing isn't always the best strategy. I usually like to bond with her over the animal. So I might say, oh my God, he is so cute. High five for furry kids over real kids. That usually gets a great response. Sometimes, and this happens more often than I think makes any sense at all, sometimes a woman's first photo is just her dog or just her cat or some other animal, right? I have somewhere where it's just like kangaroo as her first photo. Like, what? So in that case, what I'll say is this. So I was looking at your first photo, and has anyone ever told you that you bear a striking resemblance to a ... right? And I'll say that, now, by the way, I do point out the first photo because if it's a dog and I say, if someone told you bear striking resemblance to a dog, women can get a little annoyed. So what I tend to do is, if it's a dog, just because that's a derogatory term for a woman, rather than say bearing a striking resemblance to a dog, what I tend to do is I'll tend to say a breed of dog. So if I ever told you bear a striking resemblance to a Kelpie, to a Shih Tzu, to a, right, insert the breed. It tends to be a little softer. But if it's any other animal, a cat, a lion, a fish, a kangaroo, put whatever animal it is in there and you'll generally get a laugh out of that. The other kind of profile which I see way too often is women with absolutely no profile description at all. Why bother? Often these women aren't going to be great with their response rates anyway because they're not really invested. But what do I write to them? I tend to write something along these lines. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You've written so much in your profile, I don't even know where to start. Jeez, talk about TMI. And that generally gets an okay response because I'm making fun of them. Because again, teasing and like making fun of women for their profiles is generally the best way to start. And if you see these kind of cliched Tinder profiles and you can use one of these openers, it can work really well for you. The next example, which I hate, in fact, this is my least favorite of all of them, is if a woman has a profile full of like Instagram photos, like ears and bunny noses and all this crap. I absolutely hate those. But sometimes the girl is cute for the rest and I'd still like to talk to her. Rarely. But sometimes you will want to talk to her. So this is the line that I would use. Oh my God, I don't know if we can be friends now. Insta filters are so 2018. Now, another type of photo you'll see a lot of is where the first photo is two girls, like her and a friend, or every single one of her photos, or like 9 out of 10 of them, are her and a friend in every single shot. You'll see that a lot as well, in which case I'll use one of two openers. I might say to her, "Oh, how cute. How long have you two been dating?" Or I might say, a girl's an extrovert when all her Tinder photos are group shots. Now, having some great canned pickup lines to use is all fine and well, but what happens if you're not getting many matches at all to start with? That can be frustrating. Now, the most important part of your entire profile are your photos, right? Your photos are where it's at. Now, I've created a free 21-point cheat sheet that you can download. I'll put a link up there or down in the comments below, and you can download the cheat sheet. It's going to go through step by step. What are the elements you've got to have and you definitely need to get rid of from your photos if you want to get a really high match rate with the kind of women you definitely want to meet. So go ahead and check that out right now. So I want to know, what are your favorite pickup lines that you use? Is there something you've been using consistently that's getting you really regular results? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, there is absolutely no hard and fast rules with pickup lines that you can use on Tinder, so I'd love to hear all about it. I look forward to seeing you in my future videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell icon so you don't miss out on my future videos. I'm Damien. Have a fantastic week.